Welcome to Darzzr on Crater City. You find me in a completely different place from usual. I'm nowhere near the ship at all. In fact, I'm in an extreme hills biome. Not just any extreme hills biome. I'm in the hills. You can just see some buildings over there, Charlie and Ethan's. The reason I'm here is this is the site of my land house, which I'm going to be using as a base for extreme hills mining, which you may remember I talked about in my last video. Now, I was going to build a house, but conveniently Uniclad has decided to move from the hills to a new location, which she'll probably talk about in one of her future videos. But she's allowed me to take over her old house, that one up there. Now, I've just completed building this stairway. I tried to, as close as I could with the materials I had to hand, I've tried to match the look of the existing stairway over the side. We had a creeper attack here, so that's why this is all still bare earth. And it takes me back to the old wooden bridge that I built on my one of my single player maps. I have thought from time to time about maybe doing a little tour of one of my old single player maps just to show the sort of stuff I used to build on my own. But what I was doing here, you see, is this bit of land already stuck out with the ender chest on the end. Now, my first reaction was to remove the ender chest and then get rid of this piece of earth, but in the end I decided to make it a feature. I rebuilt the pillar. It was just an earth pillar. I've made it out of stone brick now, and I've lengthened that strange sort of ridge slightly to the left, and I've built a proper staircase going down the front. So now this is if you like, an approach way to the house. Now, you can't see this sign due to the sign bug, but it basically says abandoned house now claimed by Darzzr. Now, when Uniclad went, she took most of the stuff that was in here. I've added this door and that door over there. Passion actually helped me with some of the stuff just to get started. Although, unfortunately, he's also spoilt the pig farm a little bit by killing all but one of the pigs, so I'm going to have to find another pig from somewhere. I might wait till 1.4 for that, because it'll be easier to bring a pig from somewhere else via the nether. Now, there's some bits and pieces that Uni left in these chests, but nothing particularly valuable. She did leave this this book with a quill, which is her diary, which she started early on, but as you can see, she got to page 3 and then just stopped. I don't know if she'll come back and get this, but it's still there. And yeah, there's just bits and pieces. Now, I've added... She left this hole in this floor, and used to have a ladder going up to this floor. But what I've done is I've removed the ladder and I've put water blocks in. I also lit up the roof because there were some blocks up the roof where mobs could spawn. And this now functions as an elevator between the floors, plus you get an infinite spring down here. I've got some empty buckets just to prove that this works. There you go. Fill the bucket there. Now, I made a bed earlier and I forgot to put it here, so let's put this upstairs. Because, yeah, she took everything with her, except for those bits and pieces. So that gives me somewhere to sleep if people ask. Now, one of the reasons she moved away was that she was a bit annoyed that digging under the house, she hit a tunnel or a ravine or something. And it's true, when I was building this, there is a ravine immediately under what looks like a ravine. Now I think about it, maybe it's just this. Maybe it's just the underside of this sort of reclaimed bit of land, I don't know. Needless to say, the windmill is Uni's. Now, I'd love to show you more about... You can see a sort of glimpse of some of the stuff of the hills there. I'd love to show you more about what Charlie and Ethan have built, but again, I haven't asked permission to film in their houses, so I'm not going to poke around too much. But they've been doing some wonderful stuff, and I'm sure that you'll give their videos a look. Now, I'm going to go back to the portal. These are all trees I've planted. I brought some saplings with me from the ship, and I needed a fair bit of wood to do that. Simple as that. And replanted things as and when needed. But they're fairly self-sufficient out here. They've got farms and stuff. As you can see, their steps are slightly different from mine, but I wanted a more direct route up to the house, because going up here and then along there, it takes you a little way further than I would have hoped to do. Now, I had hoped to do an additional episode this week, because we've had 2 Kingdom of the Sky episodes consecutively, and my intention was to do another episode between the 2. I don't know why I'm walking this. I have got a mine cart. Let's put it down. But, oh, push it first. Not that way. Oh dear. It's running away. Right, let's pretend this didn't happen. Okay. Okay, that's going to work. Right. I was going to do this extra video, and I did record a fair bit back on Wednesday. The problem was, it was me exploring a desert, and although I found quite a bit out there, I found 3 desert villages, 2 temples, and 2 dungeons, and I got quite a lot of sandstone, as well as lots of other bits and pieces. Because, you know, temples and villages, you know, there's chests in there, naturally. And I found some emeralds and some diamonds and everything. It was a very productive trip. But, oh, that's my mine cart, actually. Put it back in my chest. Although, that's not my chest, is it? What? Maybe it is. Hang on. No, that's mine. That's right. I don't know my way around anymore. Funnily enough, even with the sign bug, I can still remember where I'm going here, because of this tunnel that CQ cut. That's actually the tunnel that now goes to Palm Springs, but the little spur tunnel is still there. We won't go back to the ship just yet, because I do want to look in very briefly and show you what Falaron's been doing at the Capitol building. What I was saying about that video, by the way, was that it was just, well, just wandering around, really. You know, there wasn't enough substance to it. I might, if there's a little bit of a gap in this video, I might intercut some bits from that, because I'm sure there's something usable from it. Anyway, I showed you the post office last time. Made me laugh, actually. Falaron asked me permission to film in it when he did his Crater City TV episode. I mean, it's a community building. You don't need to ask permission. Everybody's allowed to come in here. Funny this, isn't it? Sign bug has affected that sign only. I'll have to check this another time, just in case that's actually a blank sign. It should say Crater City Post Office, needless to say. A lot of sugarcane has appeared around here. This happened on the old Crater City. Now, the old Crater City, of course, we had the economy then, and we were able to sell sugarcane for considerable amounts of money. Now, there's no economy on this server, so I don't know why there's so much sugarcane. Maybe it's old habits die hard, or maybe we just have someone completely insane on the server. Anyway, look at this. This is the Capitol building. Now, I think we did kind of expect Falaron would build the dome in a different material. It's all sandstone. But, on the other hand, it's all sandstone. I mean, think about that. A building this size, all sandstone. And I think there's some birchwood in there as well. He's on a quest for iron now, because he wants to put iron around the outside of the roof. And the roof, I know, was a really major undertaking. Now, that sign there says no filming inside, so I can't take you any closer. He has done some work inside. In time, you will see it. But, you know, all hand-built, all hand-mined. Admittedly, you know, the sandstone has been donated by a lot of different people. But that is a pretty impressive build. Got to be said. Now, we're going to go to the ship, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing on there. What I did was, those 3 villages, by the way, I named them. I felt there was a little bit of a... I don't know... it felt that there was a bit of a naming bias creeping in with some of the villages, so I decided to name 3 myself. And so they are now called... the 2 by the ocean are called Swanage and Bognor Regis, and the one that's more inland is called High Wycombe. And it's called High Wycombe because all the buildings were slightly too high over the sand. It was one of those villages that sort of floats slightly in midair. And I thought, you know, it'd be nice to have some villages on the server that are named after British places. That was basically what it was. And I did a bit of repair on each one as well. There were doors missing. A lot of villages seem to have a lot of doors missing. And of course, the first time zombies come along, it decimates the village. It's terrible. Right. Now, today I've already ended up in the ocean once, so we should be alright. We're okay. That's good. A little sneak peek of what I'm going to show you there. Because I've finished the medical bay. It is now a fully functional potion crafting area. Brewing area, I should say. The gymnasium is marked out. I'll show you the gymnasium first, because it's just an empty room at the moment. And you'll be able to see the vision here. This is going to be a parkour course. Because I was trying to think, I wanted a gymnasium, like a posh hotel, but when it comes down to it, there's not a great deal that you can actually do to make your character more fit in the game, other than giving them potions, and that's the medical bay. So what would the gymnasium be? And I thought, well, when it comes down to it, the only athletic thing that people do is parkour, so that's what we'll have. I'm going to plan that out. This is the medical bay. Now it's a little bit cramped, but I've tried to make it work for its space. So we've got a little infinite spring there, which is actually very handy when I'm working below decks. A couple of cauldrons, some brewing stands. The word escaped me for a minute there. And I've got some pre-made potions here, various kinds. I'd like to make more regeneration potions, but I'm short of gas tears. I'll go into the pharmacy. That's an empty chest. I've got more of most of these materials back in my main supplies, but what I am lacking is gas tears. I only had one, and I could do with more magma creams, so we really need to organise a proper nether hunt. Now it's, of course, a weekend just coming up as of me filming this, and last weekend we did a fantastic adventure near Uni's new place, and we got lots of stuff which we all shared out, and I'm hoping to persuade people to come on a nether hunt. I know Miguel was up for it. But it'd be good, since it's a combat type thing. I think we need someone like Seeker or Guitar Flat, and of course loads of signs. This is why, you know, the sign bug is so painful for me, because I love to put signs on things, and it's a shame when they all just end up blank. J. Herman, Dr. Herman. This was Miguel's idea for a name. I asked Miguel. Miguel was the only one on the server at the time. I said, "Give me a name for a doctor," and he said, "Dr. Herman." I said, "Why Dr. Herman?" I still have no answer to that. Obviously it's a name that has great significance to Miguel, but it's a mystery. Now further down here I've also been working on, not there, but here, the laundry. A much simpler room, much more empty. I've been wondering, I mean, these I put here to be like laundry baskets rather than cauldrons, but I was thinking maybe putting some water in one of them anyway. But we also have a little trolley here. It's a minecart without a track. You can push minecarts around without a track, in case you didn't realise that. I think everybody knows that, actually. But one thing that is a bit of a shame is that I like to leave this at kind of an angle to make it look more casual. But whenever you reload it, it's always square on a square, so I guess there's a bit of a limitation in the way the game stores minecart locations. Dispensers here doubling up as washing machines. Really, again, it's the closest thing visually. There are also, of course, fruit machines upstairs as well. Although with the fruit machines, they can at least pretend to operate like the real thing. And the white wool, of course, is linen. Did I really need to explain that? But yes, it's been quite a busy time this week. Not just with work, but because I've also been distracted by Tekkit. There have been so many videos about Tekkit, I thought I'd give it a go for myself. And it's been very absorbing. I love the buildcraft stuff and building pipelines. And, you know, it takes me back to that old building submission of mine, the chemical plant, where there were pipes going left, right and centre. And it's great to see pipes actually working. Now, of course, in the time, I've only been able to scratch the surface and build a very small subset of the stuff that's available. I'm not really thinking about doing a Tekkit series, although we've had some informal discussions about putting a server on Tekkit or something like that. You know, in fact, there was talk early on about making Crater City all Tekkit, but we would have just ended up with an enormous mass of pipes in the middle of the city instead of that rather nice Capitol building. And I think I prefer it the way it is. Also, I think you know, it's too. In some ways, I think it's a bit too complicated. You know, you do a lot less building, much more engineering, which is great in itself, but it's not quite what we do on Crater City. But it certainly made it more interesting when I watch other people's Tekkit videos. I did a slight modification to the theatre recently, put in the glowstone. I was just trying to build on that Art Deco feel. Somehow it just pushes it that little bit further. And also it meant I could get rid of those annoying torches in the wings. So that's about it for this time. Let me just check my notes. Was there anything else that I meant to say? I don't think there was. Well, that's all then. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Please remember to like and subscribe.